Well, folks, the market is crashing, and most people have no idea what's really going on. Billionaires, they're making their moves while everyday investors are panicking. Are you falling for the trap? The numbers don't lie, guys. Wall Street is in free fall, and if you don't act now, you could be left holding the bag. And this is not normal. The stock market is in free fall, guys, and the media isn't telling you the full truth. In fact, the Dow is sinking, the S&P is spiraling, and investors everywhere are panicking. But here's what they won't tell you. This was planned. This was predictable. And while everyday Americans are watching their portfolios bleed out, billionaires, they're quietly feasting on the fear. They want you to panic. They want you to sell at a loss. And the moment you do, they swoop in and they buy up your stocks at a discount, making themselves even richer in the process. Does the phrase, the poor gets poorer and the rich get richer, sound familiar? Yeah. Well, think about it, guys. Why do the richest investors never seem worried? Why are hedge funds and insiders buying while the rest of the world is dumping stocks in fear? This is the game that they've been playing for decades, guys. And if you don't learn how to spot their moves, you will be the one that's paying for their next yacht. You'll be paying for their next mansion. You'll be paying for their next billion-dollar empire. Now, I refuse to let this happen to you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose the exact strategies that the wealthiest elite use to turn market crashes into gold mines. So you can stop being the prey and so you can start playing the game like a shark. So hopefully you guys are ready. Are you ready? Let me know in the comments down below, guys, because if you don't listen now, you could be making the biggest financial mistake in your life. If you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys. Well, the stock market is in absolute chaos right now. I mean, look at what's happening. You got the Dow Jones, it's plunging. The S&P is tanking, and the NASDAQ is a complete bloodbath. Investors everywhere are in full-blown panic mode, and it's only getting worse. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just some random market dip. Something much bigger is at play. Now, over the last few years, or actually the last few days, we've been seeing massive sell-offs. Billionaire hedge funds quietly, they're making quiet, calculated moves. There's nothing by accident there. And whispers of market manipulation that the mainstream media refuses to talk about. And I've seen it myself, guys. And now with the fears of Trump tariffs, inflation, economic uncertainty, people are scrambling, just trying to figure out, well, what's going to happen next? And the question is, are you about to make a catastrophic mistake like the rest of the herd? Or are you about to flip the script and turn this chaos into a massive opportunity? Because right now, guys, the rich they're setting a trap. And unless you know what's happening, you might be walking straight into it. But don't worry, guys. I'm about to break it all down for you guys. Now, something very, very suspicious is happening right now in the stock market. And if you don't see it, you're about to get played like a fool. The Dow is down, the S&P is cratering, and Wall Street is in a tailspin. But let me ask you guys, who do you think is really panicking here? You? The average investor watching their portfolio bleed out, or the billionaires, the hedge funds, fund managers, and government insiders like Nancy Pelosi and the bunch who have been through this cycle 100 times before? Because here's what the media won't tell you. This is not some random crash. This is a shakeout, guys. This is a trap. And the people who control the money are sitting back and they're watching and they're waiting for you to make the first move. Look at the patterns. Every single time the stock market dips, who wins? Every time the stock market takes a plunge, who gets richer? And who loses their life savings because they panicked and they sold too soon? This is a game that's been played for decades, and right now, you're in the middle of the next big play. And here's where it gets even crazier. Inflation numbers just came out, and they were better than expected. So if inflation numbers came out and the inflation numbers were better than expected, why is the market tanking? Why is fear still spreading like wildfire? Well, the answer might be exactly what you're afraid to admit. Because if you follow the money, you'll see something shocking. While everyday investors are selling in fear, Wall Street's biggest players, they're quietly buying. They're moving in just like they always do when the market dips. And guess what, guys? The media is not talking about this because the longer they keep you afraid, the better it works out for them. And while to be honest with you, that's not even the biggest part of this. The biggest part of this story here is because the real reason behind the stock market meltdown might have nothing to do with inflation or even interest rates, guys, but something far more calculated. Now, what if I were to tell you that the biggest financial institutions have been positioning themselves for this crash weeks in advance? That means they knew that this was coming. They planned it. And now that it's here, they're about to make a killing while everyday investors, everyday people like me and you get wiped out. And if you think that's bad, wait until you see what's happening in the job market. Because right now, in the middle of this economic chaos, mass layoffs are quietly sweeping across the country. You got tech companies slashing thousands of jobs overnight. When I think of tech companies, I'm thinking of Amazon. I'm thinking about Tesla, Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, companies like that, right? Big retailers are shutting down their locations. Banks are cutting workers at alarming rates. Don't even get me started with what the federal government is doing in terms of layoffs. And the worst part, nobody's really talking about it. Urgent warning, guys. The job market is collapsing. The economy is shrinking fast. Layoffs are skyrocketing. The Trump tariffs are already shaking industries. The media won't tell you this, but most high-paying jobs, they're disappearing. And the ones that do remain, they're soon going to be out of reach. But here's the good news, guys. I've put together a list of 30 plus jobs that pay around $100,000 per year without a degree. These are recession-proof jobs, and some are even set to explode in demand thanks to this economic shakeup. No college degree required, no student debt, just real jobs that pay. But I promise, guys, this list is not going to be available forever. So get it right now. Get it before these jobs are flooded by the competition. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down below so you can get your free list of the 30 plus jobs that pay over $100,000 without a college degree. So download this list before it's too late. Because these layoffs, they're not random. Just like the stock market sell-off, they're happening because the people at the top are preparing for something much bigger. They see what's coming. They see they're essentially at this point, they're cutting costs. They're protecting their money, and they're leaving regular people to fend for themselves. So here is the $1 million question. Are you going to fall for it? Or are you going to do what the rich do? And are you going to turn this crash into the opportunity of a lifetime? Because I'm about to break down exactly how this game is played and how you can flip the script before it's too late. And now the truth is finally coming out, and it's worse than anyone had even imagined. The stock market's not just dipping, guys. It's being deliberately shaken to its core. Billionaires, hedge funds, the top level insiders, they've been positioning themselves for weeks, guys. They're quietly preparing for what's happening right now. And guess what? While the average investor panics and sells their stocks, the rich are buying those stocks, okay? Think about it. Anytime you sell a stock, where do you think it goes? Someone's buying it. You got to wonder who's on the other side of that trade, guys. They're scooping up assets at rock bottom prices while everyday people are just left scrambling. And if you think I'm exaggerating, even some of the most mainstream financial analysts are starting to admit that this is bad. The media is out here like now whispering about a controlled collapse, but the damage is already being done. This is a wealth transfer happening in real time, guys. And if you don't act fast, you could be left in the dust. But here's the good news. You don't have to be a victim of this chaos, because the same strategy that the rich use to grow their wealth during the market crashes, you can use it too. The key is understanding the rules of the game and playing it like an insider. By the way, if you guys want to learn exactly what I'm doing, I'm actually sharing that information. I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below. But first of all, what do we do right now? Well, the first thing we need to do right now is stop panicking. The biggest mistake everyday investors make is selling in fear. The rich are basically counting on this. They want you to react emotionally so that they can buy up your shares that you're selling at a discount. Instead, you got to think like an investor, not like a gambler. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. Second, buy the dips, buy the right dips. Don't buy all dips, but you got to buy the right dips. Not all stocks are created equal, but some of the biggest long-term winners are on sale right now. So think about it. Why would you refuse to buy a $50 shirt just because it's now on clearance for 20 bucks, right? Like, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, if you know a shirt that's normally $50, I don't know, in Macy's, for example, and you saw it on clearance for $20, wouldn't that seem like a bargain? Wouldn't that seem like a deal? Of course. So this is the time to grab solid, well-run companies at a discount before the next rally sends them skyrocketing again. Also, the third thing we need to do right now is we need to diversify and we need to stay steady. The stock market, it's forward looking, okay? So while a lot of people are reacting to today's headlines, real investors are looking 5 years down the road. This is why we need to be thinking about industries that are poised for growth. Think about AI, data centers, cybersecurity, domestic manufacturing. Guys, these are just a few sectors that could explode in the coming years. And lastly, we always got to follow the money, right? Don't listen to the mainstream media noise. Watch what the billionaires are actually doing, not just what they're saying. Okay. If billionaire investor Warren Buffett, is buying while everybody else is selling, we need to be paying attention to that. Okay. If hedge funds are quietly investing in undervalued companies, there's a reason for that. Okay. And so this isn't just a market dip. This is a turning point. You got two choices here, guys. Panic and lose everything like the rest of the herd, or you can use this opportunity to build long-term wealth. So the real question is what side are you on? So let me know your strategy in the comments down below. And if you're ready to take control of your financial future, hit the link in the description down below. Join my newsletter because I'm about to break down exactly how you can make the smartest moves in this market right now. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.